Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cartoon Boom. This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, plop down on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch all your favorite cartoons, both old
and new.
I'm your de facto leader, ready to bribe you with sweet treats, Joseph.
And I'm a puppet on a puppet on a puppet. My name is Chris.
And today we watched Be Cool, Scooby-Doo.
Just be cool, man.
Just be cool.
Be cool. Just be cool, Scooby.
Be cool. Be cool.
Be cool, man.
Chris.
Be cool.
Come
I'm
on.
trying to be cool, but I got spooked. This was suggested to us by Patreon supporter 6. Thank you so much, 6.
Yes, thank you, 6.
Yeah.
So, Be Cool, Scooby-Doo aired from 2015 to 2018, based on, obviously, characters from the Scooby-Doo franchise by Hanna-Barbera Productions, produced by Warner Brothers Animation, ran for 2 seasons, 52 episodes, originally on Cartoon Network from 2015 to 2016, and then Boomerang from 2017 to 2018, and then Boomerang SVOD in only 2017. I don't know what the difference is. For a short synopsis, the Scooby Gang continues to solve mysteries during what could be their last summer together, but monsters and ghouls get in the way of completing their adventures. I mean, their adventures are to hunt down monsters and ghouls. They're not getting in the way as much as they are enabling them.
But why
right?
would it be their last summer together?
I don't know. That was just part of the
That's sad.
synopsis.
Wow.
Maybe that's the whole idea of this one. But no,
Yeah.
it can't be, because this one's kind of like a I don't know. It's like midway, but it's an origin of some things. I don't know. Like it's odd, but not in a bad way.
I feel like it's kind of like an AU sort of Scooby-Doo. Well, I mean, there's no canon between any of the shows, really. You know?
No, not heavily anyway. Yeah.
It's not like the show that started in the 60s is like the same show as like What's New Scooby-Doo and this one. And, you know, it's not like there's continuity between them all. They're all like, they're a shared Scooby multiverse.
Basically.
Now we're ready to announce our new venture of the Scooby multiverse, where this time the gang travels through the multiverse.
Too wordy. It's the Scoobyverse.
The Scoobyverse. They're going to travel through. They're going to solve multiversal mysteries, you know.
Oh, man.
It's all going to be real Bermuda Triangle kind of things, to be honest. So, you know.
I feel like, have they done it? Have we watched something where they've had like a crossover between different Scooby universes?
I don't think so. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I bet it does.
We just
but
haven't
I don't
seen
think
it,
we have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to think, because it'd be cool to have like Red Shirt Shaggy jump into one of these universes and just like on his hunt for like the 13th ghost or something. I don't know.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
But that's not what this show was at all. So I'll stop.
No, that's
I'll get
not,
off
that's
that
not
tangent.
this one.
Yeah.
Hey, we did the thing. We did the thing where we started talking about something else.
Immediately. And forgot what we were really talking about. What are we really here for, though? That's Be Cool, Scooby-Doo. Who were some of the actors who played in this show?
These are the actors that we love from a bunch of the other Scooby-Doo shows that came after the original. So the voices of both Fred Rogers and Scooby-Doo were provided by Frank Welker. And I should probably mention, too, basically almost any monster that you hear is also Frank Welker. Like any of the creatures.
Makes sense.
Any of the like that noise. It was Frank every time. Like you can hear it in the voice. It's great. He's too good to not pass that up. So anyway, Daphne Blake, voiced by Greg Griffin, Velma Dinkley, voiced by Kate Micucci, and Shaggy, a.k.a. Norville Rogers, voiced by Matthew Lillard. So this is the gold standard for your Scooby Gang for the last 2 decades, basically. You don't really get much better as far as voice acting for this crew. So really happy to see them again.
It's crazy how, how great Matthew Lillard sounds as Shaggy. Like, it is almost like a 1-to-1 with Casey Kasem.
He's very good at it. I think the only difference is maybe his voice is a little deeper.
A little bit, yeah.
And you know, maybe not as kind of like airy, but he can do such a great impression that you kind of question. When I first started watching it, or some of the continuation series and stuff, before we really got into doing Cartoon Boom and everything, and I didn't know, Casey Kasem had passed on, wasn't doing the show anymore. I was just like, oh, wow, yeah, that must be the original guy. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he at least hits all of the things you expect from Shaggy, like that like that raspy laugh, and just any time he says like Scoob or whatever, like it sounds just
Right.
like him. So, good on him. I mean, the whole like crew was very talented. I just specifically wanted to point that out because when I was listening to it, I was really thinking about it and how in other like media, like I know the Scooby-Doo movie that I can't remember what it was called, but the CG when they came out.
I think it was just called Scoob, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. Like how they shafted him by not casting him as Shaggy and how noticeable
They
it is.
all got replaced, didn't they?
I think, yeah, I think Frank was in it, but not as Fred or something. Like maybe he was the Scooby in that one. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way, for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Be Cool Scooby-Doo cereal, this is the 12th version of Scooby-Doo. The 12th version.
Goodness.
It was preceded by Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, which we really liked, that aired from 2010 to 2013. And then it's followed by one I haven't seen yet, Scooby-Doo and Guess Who from 2019 to 2021.
Oh, weird. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, that one kind of goes back to almost the original art style. Like it looks very reminiscent of that. And it's like those, if you imagine the episodes of like the older one where they were like teaming up with Batman and Robin or the Harlem Globetrotters and stuff, it's in that same vein, but it's like more modern stars.
So when they say Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, it's like where they're doing like guest stars and stuff.
Yeah, like Scooby-Doo meets whoever,
Oh my God. You know what that makes me want to see? A crossover with the Mike Tyson Mysteries.
Oh,
I would die.
Or Venture Brothers or something. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I do think that there was an episode, if not an episode, then at least a clip that involved Scooby-Doo in this Guess Who one meeting up with the actual voice actors. So he met like, or the gang met like Matthew Lillard, Frank Welker, Grey Griffin, etc. Like all those people like in animation form.
I have seen that clip. I know what you're talking about. I didn't realize that came from that show. I guess I didn't really think about where that came from, but yeah, I've seen that clip make its rounds and it's very good.
Yeah, so I guess there's that, and then various other modern stars. So that's something I really want to check out now that I know it exists, or now that I know what it actually is, because I didn't really like put two and two together with that. So
I remember, specifically they made Gray really like gothic and kind of scary to everybody, and I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. So Be Cool Scooby-Doo was announced in March 2014, along with other reboots of Warner Brothers classics such as Tom and Jerry Show and Wabbit, which was later renamed to, I think, the New Looney Tune Adventures.
Oh, I was like, what the heck is Wabbit?
Yeah, it's like Elmer Fudd saying rabbit. Yeah.
Okay.
This marks the first Scooby-Doo television series not to feature Casey Kasem in any capacity after his retiring from voice acting due to declining health. Kasem's death in 2014 leaves Frank Welker as the only surviving original cast member still with the franchise.
Jeez. Still going strong, too. He sounds great. Like, his voice has not declined in any capacity.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's changed at all.
He's in, like, what? I think I want to say he's 80 at this point.
Maybe, but you wouldn't know it, man. He takes real good care of that voice.
He really does.
Additionally, this is the first season, or the first series since A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, where Velma is voiced by an actress other than Mindy Cohn, and marks the debut of Kate Micucci as the character's voice actress.
Nice. Yeah. I really like Kate Micucci. I think she is fantastic. She just fits the part so well. Like, even if she cosplayed as Velma in real life, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's Velma. That's just who it is.
I also really liked her as Webby from the newer DuckTales series. Like, she did a really good job as Webby.
Yeah, she did.
All right. So that's all I had for the trivia for the marshmallows. So let's go ahead and start talking about the show. Very first episode being Mystery 101, season 1, episode 1, where Velma is overjoyed when she gets an interview at Kingston University, a college with one of the highest reputations in the world. However, her dreams are soon wrecked when the ghost of the founder, Elias Kingston, comes back from the grave to scare away students he deems to be unworthy.
I just want to say really quick that going into this thing, it's a Scooby-Doo show. So you have very set expectations. There's no getting around it, really. aside from like, you know, when we sat down for Velma, we knew it wasn't going to be, you know, business as usual. But for any other Scooby-Doo property, you know what to expect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this this threw me off guard so much. I don't want to say in a bad way, but like I was laughing so hard before even like the 3-minute mark because of this freaking puppet thing that they kept doing with Daphne.
Yes.
Oh
Dude,
my
okay.
God.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that right off the bat because Daphne, and this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite version of Daphne in any of the Scooby-Doo
Absolutely.
series I've watched because she has a personality here.
Yes.
It's very erratic, which makes it like her stand out. Everybody else is pretty much the same as their general characters are. Their general archetypes always are, with some
Right.
changes and, you know, a little bit more playfulness because it's more playful of a series. But Daphne is completely different in that she's just like chaos. But
They
like,
made her the wild card. Yeah.
Exactly. And I love it.
They did take two things from past shows, though, and leaned into those pretty heavily, too, that I appreciated. They kept the grew up rich background,
Yeah.
which she alludes to, but they don't beat you over the head with it. They just like, they make jokes about it every once in a while. She'll just kind of say something and be like, oh, yeah, you had a very different childhood than me. You know, that kind of thing. The other thing is that she's very clumsy. And
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that they kept that because that makes for some of the best moments in this. But honestly, the best part is just she's obsessed with puppets in this first episode. And you can tell that like it probably comes back every once in a while. But in one of it definitely came back in one of the other episodes we watched. And
Yeah.
every time they saw puppets, Fred would like grab her and be like, no.
Yeah.
And
She
that-
would be like, ooh, puppets. And he'd be like, no. And just like grab it from her.
That just made it so much
Yeah.
funnier. But like,
yeah. The callbacks of it were really good.
yeah, the gag is so good. And just what's funny too is you'd think that it would get old. But like the more times the puppets show up in this episode, the funnier it gets. Like it gets better every time.
Yeah, it's a Sideshow Bob Rick situation for sure, where
Yeah.
you do feel like, oh no, is this going to get really annoying after a while? And you feel like it's going to, and it teeters that for a little bit, but then you come back on it and you're like, okay, this is great now. I really appreciate it. Because it's not like that's like a mainstay of her character. It's just,
No.
it's like every specific episode, she has something about her that is just like almost completely unrelated to mystery solving. It's just like her personality quirk of the episode. And I think it's a
Right.
really fun addition.
It's kind of like they gave her ADHD.
Yeah,
Is what it
basically,
feels like.
yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
think is why we're probably latching onto this character, because now we're like seeing some parts of ourselves there.
Yeah,
Because I'm like,
relatable.
oh my God, yeah, I totally understand why she's just going so off the rails, because that is me in very like so many situations.
Right. Oh, discovering something new that you immediately become obsessed with. Relatable.
Yeah. And then like making as many jokes as I can with it and never stopping when everybody tells me to stop. Yeah. That's kind of my thing, guys.
Okay.
So yeah.
Let's talk about the elephant on the table real quick. And
Joseph, that's not
no, I know. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the animation, that
Yeah.
seems to heavily divide people on this series. But I really feel like it's one of those things where the people who are really complaining about it haven't actually watched the series. They just look at it and say it's not for them because it's not the same kind of animation style, and they move on. And that's fine, I guess. But I really think you're robbing yourself of an experience here. The animation is not bad. It's just different. It's more simplified. And I think that is maybe what people are latching onto. Like they're comparing it to like the CalArt style or whatever, which I never really had a problem with in the first place. So it doesn't bother me at all, but I just know that's a big contention when it comes to this specific series.
Yeah, I feel like if you are any kind of fan of like regular show or Close Enough, this is the same kind of art style. And honestly, there's a lot of very similar humor too, which I think is another reason why I really had a good time time with my watch for this. Is that sense of humor is very very quick, very witty. There's a lot of really, really fast jokes, especially this first episode. They just keep coming, especially in the first, like, I'd say 5 minutes when we're introduced. And they will do the, and this, I feel like this is kind of a new thing for Scooby-Doo. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember everything from Mystery Incorporated, but I remember liking it. But they do a lot of the out of nowhere jokes. And it works so well, and it doesn't feel out of place for this kind of show either, because of the fact of, like, you harken back to even the very original Scooby-Doo. And Scooby and Shaggy were constantly, like, let's say, running from a bad guy, putting on the weirdest outfit and, like, cosplaying and getting into character. Like, all of a sudden they're dressed up like the Chiquita Banana woman and, like, you know, giving the guy a pedicure to get him off of their backs. And, like, something like that happens here where, like, while Daphne's doing this puppet thing and they're just kind of like, what the heck's going on? Shaggy and Scooby just walk in off camera. We haven't been introduced to them at all yet. And they're already, like, in some sort of weird outfits. And they're like, man, that was wild. And it's just like, it's just so ridiculous. I was laughing so hard, and it still fits the characters all the way back to the original. It's great. I think that was such a good way to intro this and still give us, like, something new.
Yeah, and there's some, like, sometimes there's a lead up to it, but sometimes it's just like they'll just pull, like, a fully formed, like, blackboard that they've been working on in the background or whatever out of nowhere, and it'll have, like, a plan to do something different. And it's like you throw your suspension of disbelief just to the wind because it's a cartoon, and you play into it because it's like you're along for the ride here. It's not one of those things where it's like it just feels completely random for the sake of being random. It's like it makes sense in the series, and it is a lot, like you said, kind of the old Looney Tunes stuff, even, where, like, yeah, Bugs will put on a weird outfit and do Gossamer's nails or something. But there's a lot of that type of humor, a lot of observational humor, where it's like that we as the audience we notice something, and then they'll, like, kind of respond to it, kind of be, like, self-referential in that way. And so I can always appreciate that kind of humor too.
Absolutely. How would you want to describe the characters real quick? I mean, we've discussed Daphne quite a bit, but how would you describe the others?
I mean, if just think of their general their archetypes, like Fred is the kind of leader in the sense that he's very gung-ho about solving these mysteries. But in this one, he gets a lot more of a humorous side to him, and, like, almost like a not stuck up, but just something like he's going to get these mysteries solved no matter what it takes. So he's not just, like, super friendly Fred that he's been in the past or anything like that. Like, he's got a mission and he's going to get it done, whatever the case or whatever it takes. Velma, same, like, the smart character. She's the one generally solving most of the mystery. She and Fred, I guess, but she keeps that intelligent air about her. It is storming so loud outside. I heard that right now.
Yeah, I was like, do.
I don't even think it's raining, but it's just that there's
very
loud thunderstorm. So
Jeez.
yeah. So Velma keeps her same nerdy, intelligent side, and she's kind of the most normal of them, I would say.
Definitely.
And then, Shaggy and Scooby are still the same characters that they always are in any respectable Scooby-Doo series, which is they are always hungry, always looking for food, mostly scared of anything they come across until they're bribed by, Scooby snacks or food in general.
I would agree with that. I think that aside from Daphne, they all are pretty similar to what they've been in the past, kind of like a good amalgamation of a lot of it. Yeah, I think that's spot on. And then we talked about, you talked about at the beginning, the real quick overview of what this episode was. And they really they really kind of jump into it. There's not a lot of time spent on introduction. We've spent more time introducing all of this than the show does. It really gets to the meat of what the show is going to be, which is really just, it's fun. And we see the monster design is really good. We get a really fun scene in the beginning of just this guy and his dad going to this university, and just the like, your grandfather went here, or I went here, and my father before me, and we stood right there, and my father told me this. In fact, I'm telling you this right now. And like his son responds a certain way, and he's like, that's what I said to my father. And this is what my father said to me. And he just kind of starts having a freak out when the ghost shows up. It was just this throwaway intro scene, though, but it was fun. I really enjoyed that scene.
I do want to add that the ghost in this episode, and some of the other ghosts we see in other episodes, is from the original series. And this show kind of pulls different ghosts, not the same scenarios necessarily, but similar ghost costumes from those other series. Not only the original one, but also like, I think there's one even from Mystery Inc. and stuff like that. So yes. Yeah, this show borrows a lot from its predecessors in a nice way that's like, hey, that's a cool Easter egg. They don't call it out or anything, but if you know kind of thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that too, because they really do a good job with the designs and everything too. Like, these look menacing, they look good. The colors look really good, especially on some of these things. Like this monster specifically, it was like just the design and the color of it really got to me. I really liked it a lot. This kind of like phantom sort of thing. It's like this blue, ghastly, big dude. So I really, really like that.
And this one is almost like 1-for-1 with the Elias Kingston from the Scooby-Doo Where Are You series. So that's really cool that it still like got that noticeable. It's like comfortably like familiar.
One thing that I want to mention too is like what I appreciated about this is we talked a lot about all the puppet jokes, and I promise we will move on. But for as many jokes as there were, they bring it around into an actual plot point, because there comes a time in this episode where they're all mad at each other. And when we talk about the puppets, I mean that Daphne had puppets made of each of them. And then once they all start arguing, she kind of takes note and then hands puppets of each other to, the others. They don't all have their own. They have each other's. And then they start talking as each other with the puppets, kind of making fun of each other, but sort of saying like, kind of the things that they don't like about each other. Except for like when they talk about Scooby, you're like, I'm a great friend and I'm your best pal and I'll be there no matter what. And someone's like, no, I'm the best pal. And then they're like, you are a good pal. And then the puppets basically lead them to coming back and saying, oh yeah, we are great. We're great friends. We love each other. So It's just like, as ridiculous as all of this stuff leading up to it was, Daphne's obsession with these puppets in this episode was the glue that keeps them together. And I just thought that was actually a really cool case of great writing on that part. Gags aside, it still actually has a lot of meaning to it.
Yeah, it had a nice heart to it right there. And I think like there are various aspects of the show that really bring that forth. Like, it's not all comedy all the time. And I did also enjoy on the puppet thing still where she had to sacrifice the puppet version of her just to grab the rope.
The sacrifice moment was so good. That was so funny.
The slow-mo on it and everything as the puppet was like plop, ready to make the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah. And then it just flops onto the bush.
Yeah. Just really unceremonious thing. It's like, so yeah, that was a great part. I really enjoyed that part.
Yeah, so we don't need to go into like necessarily the episode as it is. I think
go watch it.
Yeah, go watch the episode. We've described the core of it and kind of what you can expect going into this show or this episode alone. Sure. Because really, like when it comes to Indie Scooby-Doo, the format. It keeps the same format of like there's something is going awry. The monster is still played the same way where it plays it. You never see behind the scenes of the monster where it's like it tries to convince you like, oh, this monster is real. This is an authentic monster.
Yes.
And then you come to the point where they usually introduce like 3 characters, I've noticed, at least
always
in this
3.
series, where it's like, okay, which one of them is it going to be? And usually it's the one that's like the least connected to anything, because there's always going to be a red herring where it's like, it's obviously It's like it should be this one, you would think, but it's not. It's going to be the one that's like the weird gas station guy who you met earlier, who you had maybe like 10 seconds with. It keeps this same format. There's the chase scenes with the music behind them, and the music that plays during those chase montages is really good.
Yeah, all 3 episodes had it, and all 3 were really good. I liked them.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're coming for your classic Scooby-Doo kind of escapades, you're going to get that, plus a lot of humor stacked on top of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next episode we watched was Sorcerer Snack Care, Season 1, Episode 17, chosen by 6. The gang goes to the Sorcerer Snack Factory where a real sorcerer is scaring everyone away. Meanwhile, Fred finds he can get Shaggy and Scooby to do anything he wants with a box of sorcerer snacks, a precursor to Scooby Snacks.
I mean, that kind of gives it away, you know, like this is supposed to be in this Scooby world. This is the origin of Scooby Snacks.
And I love the way that they play it out, though, where it's like things that we might have noticed or thought to ourselves, but it's never really been stated. Like they're like clearly like putting it right out there, especially Daphne in this one, where she's like, when you give them Scooby Snacks to take these like daring actions, this is bribery. Like, does no one else see how bad this is? Yeah. Giving them to do things they wouldn't normally do by giving them what they want.
Yeah, exactly. That's not bribery.
Right.
And Velma's like, it's experimenting.
And then, so she's playing a part in it too, where she's like, can you now do it with a wig on?
Yeah. She's like, would you do it with a wig for 3 snacks?
Yeah.
And then you see them like burst into like a room trying to be all tough. And they're wearing these ridiculous pink clown wigs. So good.
It really is.
This was great. I mean, all 3 of these episodes were pretty solid, to be honest. I think my favorite part of this one was Milton, the security guard, and that interaction with Fred. And I'm pretty sure, I didn't look who the voice actor was, but I'm pretty sure it was Fred Tetashore. It just kind of sounded like his voice. But that interaction cracked me up where, like, you know, they're there, they meet, you know, this guy who owns this snack company and is just like, who creates the sorcerer's snacks, and Scooby and Shaggy are obsessed with them. And he's like, cool, here's the last box. We can't make these anymore. We got to shut the plant down because of this sorcerer attack and everything. And that's basically it. But hey, if you want to solve it, maybe we can get these snacks going again. And that's like kind of their incentive. So they're like, you know, going around, and then Fred meets the security guard, and they just want to, like, you know, talk to him, look at some of the surveillance. And when they when they meet Milton, and Fred's like, we're here to help. And he's like, oh, so you're the security guard now. And he's just like, oh, well, this is your security hat. And here's your security guard badge if you're the security guard. And then he takes off his shoes, and here's your security guard shoes. And just like walks out. Yeah. And that happens, like they run into him a couple more times. Yeah. And it just goes even harder. And it's great.
In that specific scene, Fred then puts on, it cuts over and Fred's like got all the like the badge and the hat and stuff on now.
Yeah. Just got that big old grin on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite was when they ran into Milton, I think the second time, where he was sleeping in the warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just like, oh, it's Mr. Security Guard. I guess this is your sleeping spot now. And then he pulls out his wallet and he goes, here you go. Here's your wallet with a picture of your wife in it. And then walks away.
Yeah.
And then he says something about you better not forget, like, you got to go get an anniversary present since it's your anniversary today and you almost forgot. And Daphne's like, ooh, busted.
That's so good.
And like it just kind of falls on Fred. Like every time it happens, it like falls on Fred, and everybody just kind of looks at him like he really is like doing these terrible things. Like, like, oh, he did forget his wife's anniversary. They're like, oh, dang.
Yeah, everybody's ragging on Fred, and Fred's just like, well, I didn't do anything.
I know.
It's so
good. I love
that. We get introduced to Piero the Puppeteer also, because puppets play a big part in this one, which is what we were talking about earlier, where Daphne keeps like almost coming to the point where she's like, oh, the puppets again, and Fred keeps stopping her.
Yeah, he's like, no.
Yeah, no. And so that plays a big role in this. There's a really cool puppet fight that I liked,
Yeah.
where like some of these puppets, like one of them like look kind of like Slappy from Goosebumps, but they were all kinds of different
totally
puppets.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There's no way that wasn't an homage to Slappy.
oh, it had to be. And then we get to see a lot of the coercion, the bribery with Scooby Snacks, or with Sorcerer Snacks as they are first known, to get Scooby and Shaggy to basically fight all the puppets and do all these things. So it's funny just watching like Fred throw Scooby Snacks at them and they just kind of roll over the puppets while they eat them. So that's the fight, is them just eating these Scooby Snacks. And yeah, so the episode just proceeds in that fashion until they catch the person who's behind it. And then the CEO, the positive one I was talking about earlier, says that they're not going to use Sorcerer Snacks anymore. And he presents Scooby Snacks to them. So this is the origin of Scooby Snacks. And
Right.
then, we also get to see kind of, okay, so this is how, at least in this version of Scooby-Doo, they were born.
This was an episode too where, like, an example though, where I was just like, the monster in this case, the sorcerer, I was like, this is the most convoluted one I've ever seen, because he had this staff. And the reason he was a threat was like he would aim his staff and like things would change, like the stairs would go flat and you would slip down, or things would move and open up or slide across the room and stuff. But like it's revealed later, because this is one of my favorite parts too, is that like, you know, you never see Fred or Velma actually solve anything. You just see them capture the guy, unmask him, and then Velma's just like, oh yeah, obviously, you know, it was the puppeteer, and what he did was like at night he went in and he like created this device. And he rigged the staircase and rigged this and rigged this and rigged this. And it's all controlled by this device, and it's wireless, and it is attached to this staff. And I'm like, this is the most convoluted plan I've ever seen. But like that just adds kind of to the hilarity of it all, just how over the top and ridiculous it is. So
yeah. And I think in that way, it's also kind of poking fun at the more ridiculous mysteries that the original gang had to solve too.
Oh, sure.
And so, yeah, it's ridiculous, but it's like in the same vein anyway. So it makes as much sense as it can make.
Yeah. And I was wondering too, like, I was like, how are they going to get this one? Like, how are they going to ground this one in the end? Because it did seem so random that it really did seem like he was controlling things with that staff. And just to find out that every single thing he controlled which was probably like several dozen things, like what he actually, like the night before, just jerry-rigged everything. Come on.
Yeah. With his remote control staff. And I liked when they finally caught him and they tried to unmask him and his beard was caught in Scooby Snack dough or whatever. And so Shaggy and Scooby, the whole time after they unmask him, and then the whole time, like, Velma's trying to explain like his whole motive, like Scooby and Shaggy are in the background, like eating the dough around him. And they're just like, stop. He's going to like run away if you keep doing that.
And he tries.
And he tries. Yeah, there's been a couple, or the episode before when the guy tried to get away after being revealed.
I was about to bring this up. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, they do the whole thing where it's like, I would have gotten away with it too. And then,
but he interrupts it.
In the first one, though, yeah, he's like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling. And then he just runs off and then just hits a cop car and falls over.
Yeah. He's just like, if it wasn't for you, run. And then he just immediately runs, but he runs like face first into a cop car, just like when I was 5 and I ran face first into a brick shed because I was a stupid child. And I have the dent in my skull to prove it.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
There you go.
So, yeah, this is just another aspect of the original show that they kind of really honed in on or leaned in on, which is the would have gotten away with it too. Even though as we watched the 76 series previously, we found out that wasn't really said all that much.
Yeah, it's true. It's weird, but it just kind of becomes part of the zeitgeist because
exactly.
I think people hear it and they just latched onto it as like, oh, I liked that from this show and it was memorable. And then they start repeating it. So then you associate it with like, oh, well, that's what they did in the show. That was the thing. They did it in every episode. It's like, no, maybe they did it in a couple episodes. It's just we got so used to hearing it because we were all saying it. So
exactly. Yeah. So another thing I appreciate about it Moving on to the last episode we watched for today's show, Saga of the Swamp Beast, season 1, episode 18, which was the highest rated. The gang visits a bayou in New Orleans where a swamp monster is frightening away anyone who comes down into his swamp. Meanwhile, Daphne pretends to be a vampire. Yeah. So that's her thing in this episode.
She was just killing me.
Really playing into vampire subculture of New Orleans.
She was super into the gothic horror of this.
So much into it, like the entire episode, she is dressed like this vampire.
Yeah, you never see her in her regular clothes and without the vampire makeup and her fake fangs, which like she had like 2 straws every time she was trying to drink something, so it would always look like she had fangs.
And she was constantly like, not constantly, but she was breaking into like these monologues.
Very Bela Lugosi.
Like,
yeah. Like creatures of the night, and always saying stuff like that. And it didn't get old, man. It should have, and it didn't.
No, I think it's because they did a great job of spacing out her
shenanigans.
Shenanigans, sure, throughout the episode, where it didn't feel like it was done ever so much back to back that it got old. It was just a nice like break in between things.
Now let me ask you something.
Yeah.
On your viewing experience, did this episode make you as hungry as it did me?
Especially when they started showing when Shaggy was going through all the food that New Orleans is known for. Like that was like a whole like 30 seconds of him just going through everything special about New Orleans food wise.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so hungry. I'm drooling right now thinking about it.
I know. And then they were showing off all the hot sauces. I love me some hot sauce.
I actually, after watching that episode, I watched an episode of Hot Ones with Pedro Pascal.
Oh, nice.
Because I was inspired to continue watching hot sauce things.
I bet that's a good one, too. I need to watch that. Good. I just watched the one with Jenna Ortega, and she took it like a champ, man. It like didn't faze her.
Oh, yeah. It was nothing to her. She's got like an iron tongue.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, this episode, I felt like Shaggy watching this episode. I was so hungry watching this. And I'm just like, I want all of this food right now. I would do anything for it. So
I liked the hottest hot sauce that they had, at least initially, was the Grim Re-Pepper. I thought that was a really cool hot sauce.
That was great.
So we initially get to see like Scooby and Shaggy competing in this like hot sauce competition to see who can take on the hottest one. And when they get to the Grim Re-Pepper, like that's where they kind of just like explode and run off to the swamp to cool down.
They're just drinking straight up swamp water.
Yeah.
Oh man, so gross, but funny, super funny.
Oh, one of my favorite parts of this episode though was Chomps, the crime fight and alligator.
Yes,
like that
I love him. Chomps is the MVP of this episode too. Like,
yeah.
He doesn't even do anything, but like just to give some context, so they are at this like former plantation down there. This place specializes in creating hot sauces. It's world renowned for making the best hot sauces, and they also do like boat tours on the bayou, things like that at night. But this swamp monster is now disrupting all of that. So they're about to close down, which means no more of the world's best hot sauces, which is breaking Scooby and Shaggy's heart. And of course, because Fred's like, oh, mystery? Well, like, we have to solve this mystery, gang. So they're on the case. But this guy who owns it, Bayou Pierre, he's like, oh, don't worry. Chompsy's on the case. And Chompsy's just this kind of like cross-eyed alligator that is not threatening at all. Like when you think alligator in the bayou, you think kind of threatening. He's the laziest alligator that really doesn't do anything. And he shows up a lot. He'll just be floating, doing nothing. And like Fred ends up getting this like complex of like getting so jealous over all the attention Chompsy's getting when Fred's the one trying to solve it, because everyone's just like, oh, don't worry, Chompsy's on it.
Yeah. And Chomps is just this like derpy looking alligator with like usually a fly just like walking around in his eye. Yeah, just completely oblivious to what's going on. But he is renowned in this part of New Orleans for being the crime-fighting alligator. And also, what was his other job? Oh, he was a real estate agent.
Yeah, he's also a realtor. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good.
What was so good was just how like taken aback Fred was by it. Everyone else was all for it. They're like, whatever. But Fred's like, no, he's not doing anything.
He even
so
tries
upset.
to wrestle Chomsky.
Yeah, to get this clue away from him. Yeah.
Yeah, Chomsky does the barrel roll.
Yeah. There's a great callback to the first episode in this episode. So there's a lot probably throughout this series of callbacks to previous episodes since we get to see this ring that was for Kingston University that was university in the very first episode. So it was another person who had attended Kingston University. We find out. And so that was just a really cool thing where it's like, you don't have to know that, but it's nice. It was a cool little, like, they even mentioned the gas station guy from that episode too, Mitch or something. So it's like, oh, cool. I'm glad we watched these in conjunction because it really kind of pieces it all together.
It's kind of cool that there's a lot of continuity in this show. And I don't know if it's just serendipitous that the 3 episodes we watched all really linked up together. But I think really they did a really thorough job of writing so that this feels like a very continuous storyline. I mean, you have your Monster of the Week things. I mean, that's what Scooby-Doo is good at. And there isn't like an overarching plot, but there is this like through point of, continuity, which is really nice to call back to, especially for gags like the puppet thing.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I feel like, and I don't know that this is true, so someone can fact check me and tell me I'm wrong, but I feel like this was probably written by people that are in our age range, because that is exactly what I know you and I would do if we were to write a Scooby-Doo show, because I love those callbacks to other episodes of just tying it into like making it just a universe that flows well together episode to episode, that you don't have to watch it for continuity, but it's nice to have those Easter eggs in there.
Right.
Because like you were saying, it feels a lot like Close Enough, which also plays with the same kind of writing style.
Yeah. There was also this character, Hermit Hank, that was really fun because we talk about there's like 3 characters that get introduced every time. So we got Bayou Pierre, Hermit Hank, and then there's this guy that works for Bayou Pierre, aside from, Chomsky, who's on the case. Hermit Hank is just this hermit living out in the middle of the swamp who also brews his own brand of hot sauce, like in a real moonshine kind of way. And his is called something like that.
Yeah, so, it's got like 8 E's or 8 R's or something.
He's like, there's 9 R's.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. See everybody try his hot sauce and like almost die. And Velma just does not blink.
Yeah, he wouldn't talk to them unless they tried his hot sauce and survived it, basically.
Yeah. They just did a dab on a toothpick. Velma doesn't blink at all. And they got me too, because I was just like, oh, wow. Because I was kind of expecting, I bet you anything, because Velma was the most like trepidation. She was just like, I really don't want to try all these hot sauces, but she did it. She's just like, tasty, and doesn't react. But then like the scene after that, it shows Scooby and Shaggy eating something else and putting hot sauce on it because they're going through all the sauces. And they're like, oh, Velma, you should try this. This will be like, water compared to what you had. And she's like, oh, I just turned the toothpick upside down when you guys weren't looking.
So she didn't even try it.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. So
yeah, it got me too, because I was like, oh man, maybe she's like a secret. Maybe in her past she was some kind of like taster or something, and she just is ashamed of it.
She's just smart, which fits the character.
Smarter than we are, because I didn't even think about that.
She's just very smart. Our stupid idiot butts would just ingest all the hot sauce and go into a capsaicin coma or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we're as smart as Hermit Hank because we totally fell for it too.
Yeah. But when we say Chomps is the MVP, so they hatched this plan to catch the swamp monster, and Fred finally enlists Chomp's help. And all Chomps does is he just sits there. He doesn't do anything. He just sits there. But the monster ends up tripping over Chomps while he's running.
The monster, it trips over him and then accidentally seesaws it up into the air, and then Chomps lands on the monster. So that's what holds him in place so they can unmask him.
So then everybody starts cheering for Chomps, and they're like, Chomps, Chomps, Chomps. And Fred's like, but I helped. Chomps was helping me. And they're like, Chomps, Chomps, no one else, no one else.
Chomps, no one else. Yeah.
Poor Fred. He's so upset.
Man.
That's so good, though. Chomps is the best, though. I love Chomps.
Yeah, that was really funny. That
Yeah.
whole thing, like, I like that they commit to the bit that they start at the beginning of episodes.
my
Like,
gosh,
it lasts
yeah.
throughout. And that's like each one of them, it kind of has a formula like that, but I appreciate it every time. It never gets old to me.
Yeah, same. And like Daphne's still a vampire at the very end, and she the very, very end, she goes to try to bite Fred's neck, and he just gives her that side eye look, and she's like, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, man.
She's just getting so like hard into it.
Super into it. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our kids to help Scooby and the gang solve some mysteries or nab us some of those tasty sorcerer snacks to try out. Then see what they thought of Be Cool Scooby-Doo.
I thought I was kind of over Scooby-Doo remakes, especially because, the Velma show exists. But this show was really fun, and it was so much funnier than all the other ones. I just hope Chomsky can stay as a reoccurring character in the place of Scrappy-Doo. Let's hope he never comes along.
Even though it looks a little different than I'm used to, that didn't stop me from having a great time with it. The gang is still going out and solving mysteries like all the other versions, but in much wilder, funnier ways. Plus, we get a great cameo from a true legend, Chomps, the detective real estate agent Gator. Was anyone else even in that last episode? Nope, don't think so. Chomps, no one else.
No one else. I just wanted to
Uh,
keep it going for a while.
You got to keep,
You
just
know.
do it for Chomps. Yeah.
Do it for Chomps. Yeah. This is ridiculous. I really want to just dress up as a vampire and like follow people around New Orleans now, to be honest.
I'm sure that's so common that they wouldn't even blink an eye.
No, probably. They're probably over it, especially after True Blood came out. They're like, oh, God, not another one.
Because I'm
Ugh.
sure they literally do have vampire bars or clubs like
Oh,
they were
they
showing
do.
in this episode. Yeah.
They absolutely do. Yeah. That much I do know. Yes. I always wanted to go on one of the haunted graveyard tours down there. I never got to do that.
I did go to one of those when I was in New
Ah.
Orleans last.
I bet that was fun.
Very cool. Yeah. You
Man.
just get to kind of take a walk around Bourbon Street and they point out all the like haunted like areas. It's so good.
That would be fun. I want to do that.
So what did you think of this show overall?
Honestly, I thought this was a breath of fresh air for this franchise. I mean, there's some really good other Scooby-Doo cartoons out there. Some of them are similar in style. Others are dissimilar in style to, the original idea of what Scooby-Doo is. This one has just a really good balance to me of being both very different and also paying so much homage to what's come before it. And in very surprising ways, where at first you might think that it's just like taking a joke or doing this thing and really just kind of going off the rails and really leaning into something. And then you think about some of the original stuff and you're like, no, this actually does make sense for these characters still. As ridiculous as this gag might be, this still makes sense. So it looks different. It's fun. It totally embraces all the ridiculous stuff and enhances things. And it also gives a really fun and playful personality to Daphne in a way that we've never seen before. And I loved it. It's my favorite iteration of her that we've seen so far. And I think the very first episode, I was a little worried in just that I felt like where Daphne shined, Fred felt really underwhelming. But as soon as we got into that second episode, that was gone. So I don't know if maybe that first episode, I don't know if they had the same writers or if it was different writers or if they weren't sure where Fred was really going to be in this series yet. Like I felt like they hadn't found his footing or his place in that first episode. But like once we got to see like him embrace the silliness of his like competitive side and that drive to like, nope, I'm going to solve this mystery, gang, and I'm going to bribe you to do it. Doesn't matter. That was when I really came around to really enjoy this version of him. So it's not like 100% flawless, but to me, it felt pretty close. It's a great reinterpretation I would love to watch more of, and I'm going to. So I gave Be Cool Scooby-Doo 5 bowls of Grim Reaper's cereal out of 5.
Nice. Going into this, my opinion had been mildly influenced by some negative posts I had seen that I was speaking of earlier regarding the way that it looked. but not so much that I wasn't willing to give it a fair chance as we do any show that we come across. So in this case, I am very glad I did. Maybe it just hit me during like a really good week or something, but the comedy bits had me laughing out loud so much that I can't really say that for a lot of other shows we've watched, at least recently. Maybe I don't think I've laughed this hard since we watched Close Enough, which was so long ago now. But since you made that comparison earlier, that came to my mind. I was like, yeah, this had me laughing in the same way. And I think it's just because it's a type of humor that we really resonate with. And taking a looser, more comedic approach actually worked surprisingly well with the series' typical format. This one poked fun at a lot of the tropes that Scooby-Doo shows are known for without tossing them out the window altogether, and managed to implement aspects of them in really clever ways. One of the standout changes for me, like you were just talking about, was them giving Daphne such a quirky, eclectic personality. In some previous versions, she was either made to play the damsel in distress or was just sort of there. So it's refreshing to see her as this clumsy oddball character that you never really knew what to expect from. She was definitely the wild card. And plus, Vampire Daphne, or Daffula, as Fred called her, has my whole heart. So, yeah. Overall, I'd give Be Cool Scooby-Doo 5 big bowls of Sorcerer Snack cereal out of 5. And despite what you may have heard or read about the art style change, I really would encourage you to give this one a shot because it's actually pretty great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I gotta say, if you like regular show, if you like Close Enough, this is something that you should watch. You should be watching this. And I mean, double if you like Scooby-Doo stuff and like both of those two other shows. It's like someone hired J.G. Quintel to make a Scooby-Doo show.
Yes.
So there's no reason to not give this thing a shot. It is everything that you would like if you are a fan of all those things.
It's a great amalgamation of the two styles, yeah.
Absolutely. So super, super glad that we watched this. Thank you so much, Six, for bringing this to our attention because I had only seen screenshots of it and had no opinion on it other than I was just like, that's kind of a weird looking thing. I don't know how I feel about that. And now I don't know how I feel about it is I feel so good about this. I can't wait to watch more.
Yeah, same. So thank you so much, Six. I'm guess I'm not in tune enough with the Scooby-Doo franchise, not as much as I should be, because now I want to watch the rest of this one, and I want to jump over to the Guess Who to check out those episodes because they seem really fun too.
Absolutely. There's so many. You'd think we'd run out of like Scooby-Doo things, but there's still so many we haven't seen yet.
It's interesting because you would think like you would kind of get tired of it after a while, but they try something different with every version, and they don't always hit, but when they do, like it hits hard and just like it hits like a great nostalgic portion of you. And the new addition to it just like really updates it to the point where even if it's set in the past or whatever time period it's set in, it still feels very modern, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. In addition to Six, I also want to thank our two newest Patreon members, Sparrowhawk and JD. Thank you so much for choosing to support us on Patreon and joining at the Twig level membership, which means that both of you get to pick a cartoon that we're going to cover on the show. And I think I've already got both of your picks. So those should be coming up pretty soon. Also, we talked about this a little bit, I think, last week, but just want to let everybody know and make sure you know. Saturday, March 25th, we are going to be participating in Gamers for Giving. This is going to be a charity stream to help raise money for Gamers Outreach, which is an organization that supplies mobile gaming carts to kids in the hospital to help them with treatment, help them socialize, and let them just be kids for a while they're going through what could be a rough and scary time for them. As part of the stream, we're planning to do a live episode of Cartoon Boom, as well as some gaming and drawing for a total of 8 hours. So we hope you'll join us and donate to this amazing charity if you're able to do so. If you're not able to donate or participate, no worries, you can still really help us out by just telling other people about it, because the more people that we get to come and watch the stream, our chances of raising more funds to get games in the hands of these kids get even higher. So if you can, join us Saturday morning, March 25th at twitch.tv/nerdsloth. The live Cartoon Boom episode will begin approximately about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time with a Q&A directly to follow just before we get into the games. Again, that's twitch.tv/nerdsloth. If you want more information on the charity itself, you can visit gamersoutreach.org. We are really excited and we can't wait to see you there that Saturday morning.
This is also a pretty personal one to me too, because when I got into my accident when I was just a teenager, I was in a hospital for 3 months, and being able to play games there really helped me while I was sitting in there healing up. So it's such an important charity.
Yeah, big time, man. Like the cognitive things that games can help you like heal. Oh my God. And also with just like pain control for sure, like pain management. It's really important. They are connected with hospitals all over North America, and it's near and dear to our hearts, as you can tell. So it would mean a lot to both of us if we could get as many of our listeners to come and join us. That is going to be the episode that morning. So you won't have a regular Cartoon Boom episode coming out because we will be prepping for that live show. So come in. It'll be fun. I promise.
Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye.
And in 2 weeks,
We'll be watching
Skyland, suggested by Patreon supporter NX Gamer.
Skyland.
Skyland. It's not Skylanders.
No, see,
It's
that's
not
what I was thinking of. Okay,
Yeah.
so
No, not
unrelated to
Skylanders.
that.
Unrelated to that.
Do you know what this is?
Nope.
Okay, Go-
No, I don't.
going in blind.
Going in blind. I think it's CG-ish. I think it's a CG cartoon. That's all I know, really. I know nothing else about it. I think I just remember seeing a screenshot when he sent me the info. That's about it. So yeah, we're gonna go in fresh. We're gonna be ready for it.
It's really kind of covering everything, because as long as it involves the sky and or land, then
But what
it's
if it
not-
takes place at sea?
What if it takes place in space, man?
Oh,
Wouldn't that
dang.
be crazy? That would really throw me for a loop.
I know, but I mean, you can find land out in space. You know, like if you try.
And I guess like technically all of space would be sky.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh
man.
I don't know. I don't like.
Oh, my brain hurts. In the episode.
Yeah, we gotta go. Until next time, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.